Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn money, finance, career, energy reading. And this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate. If it does not, leave the parts that do not resonate, as those may be meant for someone else. Okay, so what's going on with Capricorn? Finances, career, money. What struggles are they having? Challenges. All right. We have the Queen of Wands, King of Cups, and Three of Wands. I almost feel like you're kind of like you're having trouble. Again, my brain works quicker than my mouth. I feel like you're having this, you feel like you're go, 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 and then you want to give up. I feel like there's this back and forth because the Queen of Wands is somebody who is very fiery and passionate, and she makes things happen, and she's the Wands, which represents actions. And then we have the King of Cups, who is someone who can be aloof, and he doesn't really care, and he's like deals with emotions and just is kind of like, she's standing, right? So she's standing and ready to go, and he's sort of sitting there and just kind of chilling out. So I feel like you're having trouble with motivating yourself to move forward on a project or a career or finances or to make something happen. Like you're feeling stuck. You're trying to make things happen, but I feel like you're like, okay, maybe you're trying different things. You've tried a bunch of different things and that's not working. And so you're giving up and you're like, oh my gosh, I just don't even know what to do anymore. All right, so I feel like there's that battle of that back and forth as far as your career is, what do I do next? And I feel like it's sort of losing that motivation. All right, so what does Capricorn need to focus on? What does Capricorn need to focus on in order to get that motivation back? All right, look at this. Wands, wands, and then we have the devil in the middle. So I feel like it's, I feel like you haven't taken the time to really ask yourself, where do I want to go from here? What do I want to focus on? Where do I see myself in a year, in 5 years? What is your passion? What excites you? What is it that you love to do? What is it that you're passionate about? Because you have to have that passion and that enjoyment to achieve the goals, because you're going to have those challenges. You're going to have those times where you feel like you're struggling. And if you're not passionate about it, you're going to easily give up. So I feel like it's, what do you feel? What do you see? I almost feel like the reason why you can't achieve this and you're kind of stop and go is because maybe you're not really clear or speaking your truth about what you want to do with as far as career or finances or those financial goals that you have. Maybe you're not clear about that. So the reason why it's not coming in for you is because you're not clear within yourself about what you want to have happen or what you can dedicate yourself or where you want to go with things. I feel like there's just not clarity in that. So that's what you have to focus on first and say, okay, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to have happen. This is what I know. Setting yourself up for success, which I've said before in my readings, is very important. If you give yourself too many directions to go in, then you're spreading yourself too thin. So you need to focus on, one or two things that you really feel, I'm passionate about this. I know that in the long run, I'm going to be able to keep doing this. Whether this is setting up a budget, whether it's, okay, I want to pay off these credit cards, or I want to put money aside for this project, or I want to start working towards this career or this goal to eventually have this. And sometimes in order to get to that point, you have to kind of deal with things that you don't really like doing, but you know that you're working towards your goal. So I feel like that's what you need to focus on here. And that gives you could just take that piece of paper, right? And you can say, these are all the ideas that I have in my head. And then say, okay, look at that paper and say, okay, let me narrow this down, or let me put this in, columns, or, you know, sorting it through, narrowing it down. And I feel like that's what's going to help you. And when you narrow it down to those few things, and then it's that research and that's knowledge, and it start looking and getting into that and surrounding yourself with those people or those situations, or learning about that to even narrow it down even more. Taking actions, right, on what you're passionate about. Really figuring that out. Okay, so future energies for Capricorn that want to come in for this reading for Capricorn with finances. Future energies coming in for Capricorn for this reading with finances. All right, we have the Star. What other? Okay. We have the Star, we have the Page of Swords, we have the Seven of Wands, and we have, we got a lot here. And we have the Ten of Wands, and we have the Two of Cups. So this new energy that is coming in for you is that you're finally doing what it is that you've wanted to do, that you're finally making things happen. You're feeling happy, you're feeling excited, you're loving life, you're kind of looking at things from a different perspective, because Pages is young new energy, and it's that analytical and seeing, okay, you're processing things differently with this future energy here. You're also, I feel like you have a lot on your plate, but I feel like it's something that, like, you don't mind because you're really enjoying what it is that you're doing. When you enjoy what you do, it doesn't seem like a burden. It doesn't seem like it's a heavy load. I feel like you're going to be very busy. I feel like you have a lot going on. I feel like you're happy. I feel like it's almost like you're like in love with yourself, because you're so proud of yourself that you stood up and you figured it out, right? You found your direction. You know what it is that you want to do, because you took this time here to kind of have that process instead of sort of floundering here. You're like, okay, I've got to be directional. Like Capricorn, I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, and when Capricorn puts their mind to it, they're very driven, and they can be very focused. But I feel like Capricorn can also have a lot of different ideas and a lot of things that they're juggling, and it's almost like sometimes that becomes too much, and it almost becomes a hindrance to yourself because you have so much going on. But I feel like with you focusing on this, that this is what comes in, because you're finally finding that clarity, that direction, that guidance. And even though you're going to be busy, you're going to be okay with it, because you're like, yeah, like, because you're excited, because you're working towards your goal that you set here, and that you're making things happen. And sometimes you start something, but that leads you to another path. So I feel like you don't feel frustrated with this. You're like, even though there's a Ten of Wands here, you have a lot going on, but it's almost like you're happy to have it going on, because you're like, yeah, I have a lot going on, but it's in the direction that I want to go. All right, so let's get a Star Dragons for this reading. Star Dragons for this reading. So these two kind of wanted to come out. We have returning, going with the flow. That's what I was saying, is just kind of seeing what happens and going with the flow, and once you have that direction, and okay, like I was saying earlier, sometimes one thing can lead to another thing, and not fighting against it, and that there's something that you need to see or learn from that. And then we have tranquility, harmonious in action, where you kind of take that time to yourself, which I feel is this energy right here, this current energy. What you need to focus on is having that in action and that tranquility to really clear through your thoughts and to narrow things down. All right, and then let's grab a fortune reading card. We have this one, beware, be careful who you trust at this time. I feel like you're going to be going through a change or a shift. And when you do that, the people around you, I feel that the people that you have around you are a reflection of yourself. And as you change, not all of the people move forward with you. As you're aware, is that people in your life have come and gone. Some people are in for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. and that there's going to be those shifts. So I feel like with that change and the shift that you're going through, I feel like you may become more aware of people who are really there to support you as you move forward and you move on, and you're entering this energy here. Some people from before may not like that because they're struggling with their own things, and they may project that onto you. So that may be something for you to be aware of. And then let's grab another fortune reading card, and then we'll grab an animal. Let's see. Patience, slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. Exactly. That's what I was saying, is to clear your mind here with this harmonious inaction. Having patience that this is a process. Yes, we would all love things to happen quickly and to be exactly where we want to be right now. But that doesn't happen. So you have to have patience where you're going to have those challenges. Sometimes one thing leads to another thing, right? And that you don't want to rush things or push things, is that you want them to fall into place. Taking that time to really think and say, what is it that I want? What are my goals? What are my dreams? What do I know I can commit myself to? What can I put that effort and energy into to make this career or these financial goals happen for me? Right? And to focus on that and be patient with the process, right? It's commit to the process. Alex Hormozy, I'd watch one of his YouTube videos, and he had said in one of his videos is that he had to realize that he had to commit to the process. And I write that down, and I have that written down, and I look at that all the time. So when I'm struggling and when I'm, trying to get through things, especially with this YouTube channel, there are definitely ups and downs and there are challenges, but it's commit to the process, and that the process is going to take a while and you have to have patience with it. There are times when it's going to be amazing. There are times when it's just kind of rolling along, and there are times where it's going to be frustrating, but that's what I said, is to focus on something that you can hang in there and that you can stay committed to, right? Committing to the process. All right, let's get an animal oracle. I kind of feel like this one. We have Ant Spirit, time to collaborate, working together. Could be working together with people that you feel are on the same path as you, putting the puzzle pieces together, right, to make things happen. Gaining knowledge, like I was saying before, learning about things. Definitely for me in this YouTube channel, I watched a ton of YouTube videos on other creators, on, how they do their channel, the struggles that they've had. And so it's like putting yourself in that environment that whatever it is that you want to achieve, your goal here is putting yourself in that environment and gaining as much knowledge as you can to put the pieces together. And then for some reason, I'm feeling like my wisdom oracle cards here, they seem to be calling my name for this reading. So we have the two cards here. We have Unfinished Symphony. Is there something that you started before, that you started to do, that you started to work towards, but you gave up on? So is it time to get back to that and finish it? Also mending something. So putting something back together with this unfinished symphony, and mending is something that has not been finished, or something that needs to be worked on. So getting back to that, whether it's relationships or something that you love to do, I feel like that sometimes it may be that there is a relationship or a situation that you have to mend that, and you have to fix that first, and then that frees you up to start focusing on this career or this finances or this. That's what I was saying, is sometimes one path leads you to another path. And is there something that needs to be finished or mended? Could be relationships or something from your past or something else that's going on, that has to be finished first, because that energy could be holding you back to achieving that. And that could be why you're going back and forth, where you feel on, off, that there's really, it's not this in itself, it's something else that is affecting this. And is that what you need to deal with first? There's something that hasn't been finished for you. That needs to be finished. That needs to be mended. That needs to be fixed. And once that's done, I feel like the path is clear for you. I feel like the path becomes clear for you, but it has to do with that. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.